Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Season 2, Episode 10. First thing as always, thank you to those of you that have subscribed to my channel. If you are new, names will go up over here. And thank you to those of you that have been following and supporting me on the forum. Recognition goes up over here. Now, I have one notification before I start. So with the vaccination going out across the UK, people are starting to receive their first vaccinations, which is fantastic. We still need people to be safe and sensible for this to work. Fingers crossed it will. And before we know it, at the end of this month, yes, I know, being optimistic, but leading into next month, April, if we keep this up, we should be able to play Airsoft again. So make sure you check your rivs and keep yourself in shape. Other than that, let's get into this video. Now, last week I made a purchase for a new item, and it's to go with one of my loadouts, and you're going to see it in this video today. So let me just grab it. Here it is. My new rig. Now, you can see I've changed my loadout. It's not 100% accurate, okay? So I've customized it, ready to go, give you some ideas, some references. So this is designed mainly for the AK platform, if you didn't know that already. So if it's not for you, fair enough, don't hate it, okay? I'm just going to try and do the best that I can, being different, unique, because there's already a lot of videos and information out there, not just on the internet, but on YouTube as well. So let me get off by saying I am not a history expert. I am going off my own knowledge and what I've seen online and in books. So if there's anything I get wrong or forget, feel free to put your answer in the comments down below. Really appreciate it, and some of you might be able to answer my questions. Now, I have in front of me some riffs, which have no batteries and no BBs in the mags, and also I have some chest rigs, again, giving a little bit of a history background, some fun facts, and throw in some pictures as well as anything else that I might get wrong. Now, this is the Lifchik chest rig. I purchased this last week on Wednesday, I believe, and because of the discounts and deals of shipping, I took the 2-day option, so it came on Friday, so they delivered, which was great, and I bought this from a Russian site, and this Lifchik chest rig, Lifchik in English, I do apologise if I didn't say that right in Russian, means bra, but when I bought this online, it came under a different designation, Poyas A, again you'll see in the subtitles down below probably, apologies again, I don't speak Russian. Poyas A means belt A, and there was another one, Poyas B, which means belt B as well. Okay. So this is belt A, belt B would go on here where these two straps are, around me, containing AK grenade shells. And when you purchase this, if you want to get one of these, I highly recommend, okay, you'll only get this, not the full set, so again, you might have to look elsewhere, but for what I paid for this, not bad at all. So let's get into a little bit of background. This was intended and invented for the Soviet-Afghan War, which was from 1979 to 1989, and for 10 years, a decade of warfare. Pretty much it was the Soviet version of the Vietnam War, for those of you that want a quick short history lesson there. If you want to learn more about the Soviet-Afghan War, just go onto Wikipedia, saves me explaining it. Now, before this rig came into service, it was during the Cold War, so after World War II, the Soviets had this rig. Now, it's going to be a balancing act again. Now, this was the main rig for the Soviets to use, and they used this for a couple of decades. If you know the name of this, please let me know, I am curious. So you get a leather belt, leather shoulder straps. I have used this in Airsoft, but just the belt, the grenade pouch, which holds 2 Airsoft P grenades, and the AK ammo pouch, which holds 3 in here, plus 1 in the rift, so you've got 4 in total. So that's what I've used for Airsoft. I didn't have the straps at the time, and I haven't used the shovel, Spetsnaz shovel to be more precise, for the water canteen. I would use this for a battle sim, mil sim. If you're going for a skirmish, you don't need all of this stuff, so like I said before, belt, grenade pouch and ammo pouch, good to go. And this was used, like I said, for a long time with this particular rifle here. Again, just giving you a few examples. This is my AKM E&L version. Now, this rig was not intended for these particular mags, but as you can see, it does fit them. So again, a bonus there. So this is what they were using with that first rig, okay, as well as a few others. But when it came to 74, the year 1974 to be more precise, the AK family introduced a new rifle, the AK-74. So what happened is the rifle that you've just seen, the RIF, the AKM, was starting to be phased out pretty much for the new version, the latest and greatest of the time. And when it came to the Soviet-Afghan War, that particular rig with those rifles, they were not, I'd like to say this, they probably were used initially in the beginning, maybe, I don't know, because they might have already got the AK-74s out to all their troops by then, I don't know, like I said. But when they invaded Afghanistan, they were using those old rigs and they found that they were outdated, and enough said on that, because I don't know anymore. However, the Mujahideen forces, freedom fighters, were using these. These are the Type 56 Chikon chest rig. I have used this in my Airsoft games since I first got my AK, and I've had this for about 3 or 4 years, and these things are great. These things are cheap, reliable, durable, and you can tie it at the back or do what I've done, a belt system. If you haven't seen my video from last week, check it out. In the outtakes, this is one of them, which is not broken, and these are easy to replace anyway, they're only £1. So you could put one AK mag in each pouch, sorry. So you'd have 3 in total at the front, plus 1 on the RIF again, so 4. You'd have 2 grenade pouches on the side, so you had 4 grenades in total. And what the Soviets found out is with that outdated equipment, obviously after the fighting and the skirmishes, obviously one side would take the other stuff. Soviet troops would come across this and they would take them because they found that they were easier to use. You could put them anywhere on you. So for example, wearing that rig or this rig, just put it over your neck or over your shoulder. You've got some extra mags and grenades ready to go. So the Soviets looked at this second vest, the Type 56, and they thought, you know what, we need something better. So hence the Lifchik. Now, I don't know what time this was issued out in the Soviet-Afghan War, but as you can see, it is different. It shares some similarities. So for example, this was made in China, obviously this was made by the Soviets. Few differences, you see these toggles here. I prefer these, simple reason, pull, whereas here, you can do it with one hand, but I haven't got any mags in it, so it's a little difficult. You have to manipulate or put this behind, so as you can see, quick access. You can do the same here with this, put it behind, and again, quick access. So I prefer this open pattern to this. Now, what's different about this is, I'll show you, the AKMS here, this is my D-boy version, so the Mujahideen forces, as well as the Soviets, depending, again, so the Mujahideen forces would use these particular ones, okay, that you've just seen. If the Mujahideen could get their hands on the AK-74, they would use it, and interestingly enough, the Soviets would use their AK-74s, the latest and greatest, but some, and you'll see this in pictures, okay, sometimes they would go into the field and they would actually use the old AKM line against the Mujahideen. So it's quite an interesting look at that aspect. So if you look carefully, here is the AKM, sorry, turn it the right way around, mag. Here's the AK-74 mag. So if you look at the conflict, Soviet-Afghan War, yes, the Mujahideen fighters would use anything they could get. The Soviets were using obviously their latest and greatest and most of their surplus stuff, whatever that might have been. So it was pretty much a battle between the AK-74, the AKM, old school versus new school, and well, if you know your history, you know how that conflict ended up. The Soviet-Afghan War was like the Vietnam War, so there you go. Now, interestingly enough, this was intended for the AK-74 line. So, like I said before, I don't know exactly when this came into production, midway, who knows. If you know, put the answers in. So you would use these mags for the AK-74. Now this is my AKS-74U, it's my E&L version, and interestingly enough, this version saw very limited, if at all any conflict in the Afghan war, depending on vehicle crews, chopper crews, that sort of thing. But the main assault rifle, the AK-74, was used by the paratroopers, the regular army, and the difference is really between the two. Paratroopers would have this type of stock, side folding stock, and the army would have the full wooden stocks, but again that would vary obviously through time and what people wanted. So just to give you a bit of reference, here you go. Even with the rubber bayonet here, put it on my left side, doesn't matter if I have it on the outside, inside or on it, it's rubber, so it's not going to affect you. Okay, so I want to take this out now. So this was intended for the AK-74 platform, but you will see now both different mags can fit in. You can have them the other way round, so back to front. You can have them facing left, right. You could have them opposite. You could do that with the other mags. So the interesting thing about this as well, just one mag in there at the moment. If you need to turn it around, you can do it inside. You don't have to pull it out and then turn it around. So you've got a nice space to turn it around in there. And here's a little reference. This is the extended mag. Here's the regular mag. Do the comparison. So put my hand up a little bit higher. Regulars, no problems. As you can see with the rest, closure, easy enough. One hand, even with my other hand. So easy enough. The only thing you might have to worry about, depending on your model, if you get one of these, is sometimes you always get the odd one where it just doesn't fit, or you have to really force it in. Just give it a bit of time, and obviously it should be easy enough. Haven't had any issues so far. Here's the extended mag next to a regular. Hopefully you can see that. So even with one, you can't close it. You can come around the side if you want to, depending on which side. But it will do pretty much nothing. And if you want to put two of these in here, you can. It's preference at the end of the day when it comes to airsoft, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so you can put extended mags in here. This was like the modern tactical chest rig of its day back in the time whenever it was created, obviously during the Soviet-Afghan War. So nothing else at the time period was able or had the double stack option, especially on the chest rig, as far as I know. Like I said, I'm not a history expert. Again, quick, easy access. So you've got 3 pouches here for your AKs, double that, 6 mags in total. Again, you've got 4 grenade pouches here, 2 at the top, 1 on each side, 2 at the bottom, 1 on each side, and these will hold the Airsoft pea grenades. Sadly, I don't have any. I haven't been to a field recently, obviously due to COVID situations, but I can guarantee that they will fit in here. And you've got 2 extra areas here where you see the bayonet sheath here, or scabbard to be more precise, and I've got a flashbang here. So if you had your actual AK bayonet, you could put it there if you want to. Take it out so it doesn't get caught. You could put it up here if you want to. Options like my rubber bayonet here. So you can put the bayonet here on the other side. You can put them in here, don't get me wrong, but I find it's a bit too loose. So you don't want to lose a bayonet. I highly recommend you put it up here. Again, time and experience will tell otherwise. Again, you can adjust the shoulder pads, which is great, especially in a hot climate. If you're out there, you can bring them lower, you can put them up high, as far as they can go. Again, if you want to, for airsoft, I'm going to take this out now. You could put, for example, some molly pouches on here if you want to, pistol pouch, a radio pouch. If you've got a water canteen backpack, you could easily put the funnel through here, have a drink. So, yeah, a few options. Before I forget, the flashbang. These 2 side pouches, I suppose you could call them that, were intended for flares. but if you want to, you can use a flashbang. You can fit 2 in here, so you've got some extra grenades as well on the field if you need to. How I put this on, and I'll turn around now, you should see that there is some tape, green tape. Now if you look at some of the original pictures of a Lifchik, you'll see that they have some brown leather support straps or something to hold the rest in. This is a reproduction, and like all things, they cut corners, but not like in the worst places possible. But what I have noticed is if you lean forward, sometimes it might come a little bit loose, so just a bit of tape to secure it. Again, you can have this higher or lower, again preference, but it's just to make sure I don't have to keep, you know, pulling up the straps or readjusting them. And the same goes for the side as well. Honestly though, this is a good reproduction. Like I said, a few little areas that could have been maybe a little bit better, but that's me just nitpicking. I would say for a reproduction, this was a great price and great deal from where I bought it from. Trying to find these for a good price nowadays is not easy. These things are really expensive, especially the original ones. If you go on eBay, check out the prices. You might find one of these going for 3 digits. You might find the lower half, belt B, going for 3 digits. If you get both, which is a rare combo, again, that's going to be 3 digits again, but even more expensive because you've got a complete set. But this is just a reproduction. I saw it, I couldn't pass up the chance to get one of these in my collection. And if you're an AK fan, I highly recommend you get one of these. Great for reenactments or a battle sim, mil sim, whatever your Russian loadout is, or Soviet loadout should I say. So can I recommend this? Yes. I'd say honestly the only gripe is obviously no real leather straps to support it, a little loose, so again some tape, that's it really. I can't wait to actually use it. It's the only downfall at the moment because of COVID-19. I can't wait to take this to the field, try it out, again, be a little bit different, unique. When it comes to Airsoft, yes, it's great to see different riffs out there, but sometimes it's great to see different camo loadouts as well, because if you look, well, I say look, back when the Airsoft fields were open, I saw a lot of people, obviously, whether they were ex-cadets, ex-army veterans, etc., they would turn up with their gear, MTP, lots of tactical gear, but sometimes it's just great to break the mold up, whether it's your riff or your loadout, and you're just like, you know what, I'm going as a Soviet soldier, I'm going as a World War II soldier, I'm going as a Vietnam soldier, etc. So this is great for what it is, and I will tell you right now, this was only 2 digits, thankfully, in price. Again, it's a lot cheaper than the originals, so I'll put the details up that you'll see here, and you can see the difference. Obviously, for the UK, if you're buying abroad, yep, you've got to check, obviously, the shippings and rates and everything, etc. I think that is it, actually, for this, unless I'm missing anything out. But, no, this is a reproduction. There is no, like, description on this, like, so there's no stamps, dates, official seals or anything like that, because it is a reproduction. But for what I paid for, hopefully, when I get the chance, fingers crossed soon, I will try this out. So that was my take on the Lifchik chest rig. Hopefully you enjoyed it, just trying to be different and unique in this video. So where did I get it from? Now, I bought this from the same place that I actually bought this as well, my Gorka. Now, I bought this from Grey Shop. I highly recommend them. I bought these 2 items from them. Obviously, prices will vary, shipping will vary, and discounts will vary. I highly recommend them for anyone that's looking for Russian gear. I would say with their most popular gear, they do tend to sell out pretty quickly. They do restock them. It may take some time, but if you send them an email pretty much saying, please let me know when they're back in stock, you should get an email confirmation from them, which I did for this, the Gorka, and then I bought it straight away. So yeah, I highly recommend them. Let's move on to the next part. A few tips that I found out of curiosity. So I've got my old AK mags types here. So if I lift them up just slightly, twist them, so you can turn both mags. Another fun tip, if you put it in here, again it depends, you've got to get the right mag for the model. It is now an AKMSU. Fun tip there. If I take it out, if I go to this one here, it's a lot easier when you're standing up and not just sitting down explaining. So AK-74 mags, I don't even need to lift these up, just twist, little tip there, then you pull out, and then like so, you've got your standard AK-74U. So the last thing is a question for you, the viewer, and it doesn't matter if you're an AK fan or not, be honest. So out of the 3 rigs that I showed you, which one would you use for your AK? Put your answers in the comments down below and I shall get back to them. And that's it for this video. So like, comment, share and subscribe. Don't forget to click the little bell icon so you know when the next video is. I enjoyed making this video. I look forward to making the next video. The most important thing you can do is stay safe.